Well, hello, 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 and welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy, so excited that you are here. You know what time it is. It is Thursday, and it is just about that time for Coffee with Jim and Sonora. Yes, I am Sonora, and I am coming to you live from the Panera Bread located in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I'm just so excited because you're here today to learn about a very incredible company and a unique opportunity. And we are about to get this show started on the road in about a couple of more seconds here. We're going to allow everybody to get in, get their audio set and plan. And as a matter of fact, as you're coming in, go ahead and put right there in the chat for me, where are you zooming in from? I see that there's a lot of people on the line right now zooming in. Again, this is Sonora Dantzler, and I am zooming in from Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm also live in Colorado Springs, Colorado at the Panera Bread, and we are here to have coffee with Jim and Sonora for you to learn a little bit more about an incredible company and a unique opportunity. We are about to get this show started in about another 30 seconds. As you come into the room, put in the chat for me, please, where it is that you're zooming in from. Let's see what we've got. I've got Cape Cod, Massachusetts right there. I've got Atlanta, Georgia. I've got another Massachusetts right there, Colorado Springs, Colorado. We've got people zooming in from coast to coast, and it's just so wonderful and so amazing for you guys to come in here. And I'm so excited to see you. So, we're about to get this show started on the road, and I definitely want to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker in just a moment here. But before I do that, I'd like to share with you just a little bit about myself. I am Sonora Dantzler, located here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I'm a market leader here. And basically, what that means is that I have the honor, privilege, and the opportunity to go out into my local community as well as coast to coast and share with people just like you, just like we're doing today, sharing to you about this amazing company that we have and a unique opportunity just for you. And somebody thought so much about you to invite you today so that you can also hear from it. But let me go ahead and get ready to turn this show over to Mr. Jim Tanner. Now, Mr. Jim Tanner, he is located in the New England states. He's the vice president there in the New England states over there, which is not too far from me. No, I'm just teasing. It's actually all the way across the United States, but that's okay because we are coming to you from coast to coast, and he makes his home there. Not only does Mr. Tanner love to help associates and he's going to be able to share that information with you today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Jim Tanner. You go right ahead, sir, and take it away.
Sonora Dantzler, thank you very much for kicking us off today. Congratulations to you. I know you're having a great time out there at your event, and welcome to everyone. As Sonora said, my name is Jim Tanner. I serve as our company's regional vice president for the 4 states in northern New England, and I'm excited to do that, but also I travel around the country, and actually as soon as we're done here and we say goodbye, in a handful of minutes from now, I'm on my way to the airport because I'll be in Phoenix, Arizona this weekend. For those of you that are in that market, you know I'm heading out there and I'm going to spend some time with you, and I'm excited for that. But we're going to be brief today in this Zoom and respect your time. As Sonora said, as you're seeing on the screen, this event is taking place in coffee shops, living rooms, and other spaces where 2 or more folks are coming together, really anywhere across the United States and Canada. And I'm excited that you could join us today as we talk about this incredible company that we have here and what it is we do. Now 51 years in business, longer than I've been on the planet, and helping millions of people. And I'm going to share that with you in a second. And why am I here talking with you today? Because we are a company of people helping people. And as we are continuing to grow across the US and Canada, we are expanding in communities like yours. So we're seeking people to join us in our mission. I'm going to share that mission with you here in a few minutes so that you can help us to finish what started 51 plus years ago. We're seeking people to refer us to others. We want to show you, some of you, the influencers, the circle of influence centers in your community. We want to show you exactly what we do and the value that we bring to individuals and companies, to the employees of those companies and to the families of those employees. In other words, to everybody in your neighborhood. We provide great value, And we know that you can refer us to the people that we can help once you know what it is we do. And we're also seeking you, the business owners, the folks that are running businesses on Main Street, USA and Canada, that want a competitive advantage in your operations. And I'm going to share with you how I can help you with that today, how all of us at these tables that are here in this event today, how we can help you in your community have a competitive advantage in operations, but also, and maybe even more important today, as we move into 2024 in this global economy, how you can attract that key talent that you're looking for your business, and then also retain them. And so as I move quickly through this information, I just thought I would share with you also who are the people that make up our group of what we call associates, the folks that are doing this work, the leader that's at the table with you today. Well, some of these are folks that are career-focused individuals, and they've made what we do their career. That was my story. I was 28 years old when I got started with this company 20 years ago. And at 28 years old, I had a full-time job and a part-time job. And I was in a position where I was routinely just not able to do much more than make my basic needs met. And often not even that. Sometimes and routinely choosing between gas for my car and food. And so I was frustrated because I was working plenty hard, but I wasn't getting ahead. I was looking for a completely new career. That's some of the folks that are representing our associate base today. And some of you that are watching this today, you're here looking for a new plan A. Some, as I said earlier, are trusted advisors. You're that person in the community that everybody contacts when they need a great referral. You're the person that we call when we need a mechanic we can trust, when we need a great insurance professional, a realtor. You're the person we contact because we know that you know everybody. Those are our associates too. They're centers of influence. They're trusted advisors in their community. And while they love doing what they do and they're not interested in changing careers, they love being able to advocate for what we do alongside of what they're already doing. And also, and by the way, I could come up with more bullets than this, but just to give, this is really just a sampling. Third, and equal to the other two, is people that value flexibility and fulfillment above and beyond everything else. We just went through this period of time of COVID where everything really got shook up, paused for some people, moved forward in turbo speed for some people. Things just changed. And it felt very uncertain for a while for a lot of people. And what that caused really was folks to reevaluate what was most important to them. And I don't know about you, but that's something that I did. And many people have been doing that. And what people have realized is that they value flexibility. For example, being able to work from home or from wherever they are, to be able to take care of their responsibilities. Maybe that means to be there to see their kids off to school and to be there when the bus comes back in the afternoon. Maybe it means taking care of an aging adult parent. Whatever that flexibility is that you're seeking, that's why a lot of folks join our business and become associates. And then, of course, fulfillment. There's also a lot of folks in our business that are pastors and teachers. They're musicians and artists. They're actors and actresses. And what they value more than anything is the fulfillment that they get from doing what they're passionate about without having to decide between a career to pay the bills and the things that light their heart. So because of that, our associates that value flexibility and fulfillment find a home here as well. And who's us? I keep talking about us, but here's our home office headquarters in rural Oklahoma. We're North America's leading provider of legal safeguards and identity theft protection for individuals and families and small businesses. And today, from that headquarters, where 700 employees go to work every day, we protect 35,000 companies with our flagship Legal Shield and ID Shield products, and 70,000 small businesses rely on us to help them have an operational advantage they otherwise would not have. Today, we're approaching 5 million people, your friends and neighbors, people in your community, that count on us that they can live their lives completely different because of our services that I'm about to show you. In other words, we are not a startup or a ground floor opportunity. We're not something that just happened yesterday. You may be hearing about us for the first time, but what you're going to see is that we're a company that has already stood the test of time. As a matter of fact, coming from humble beginnings, our founder started this company on his own kitchen table, took it to the American Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, and the New York Stock Exchange, before we were acquired by MidOcean Partners for $650 million. And today, that investment has proven to be very wise, because today, our business is worth now over $2 billion. And when I talk about legal access, I know a lot of folks, when they hear something like that, they say, well, tell me more, Jim, because I can see how there are legal needs that I have as a business owner, as an individual, as a family, but what kind of attorneys? Before I show you exactly what we do, and I blow your mind with the pricing that we're able to do it with, because when we talk about attorneys, we're not talking about the average hourly cost of an attorney of $300 an hour, $400 an hour, $500 an hour. We're talking about access to attorneys through a subscription service that allows you to access attorneys for less than a bottle of water a day. So when you hear that from me, you're going to say, well, what kind of attorneys are these going to be that you can make this available to me? It's 6,000 of the best and brightest attorneys in the nation, representing our members. That's what we call our customers, from coast to coast, with an average of 22 years experience as an attorney. In other words, these are not new attorneys that just came out of college. These are not paralegals in a call center. This is not somebody answering the phone and just guessing or Googling stuff for you. These are the best attorneys in the nation. As a matter of fact, in the last 12 months, we paid this law firm network, these thousands of attorneys, $120 million. That means when one of our members picks up the phone and talks to one of these attorneys, in most cases, we are that law firm's most valuable client. And how do we do this? And why? And some of you, by the way, I just want to acknowledge this because I only have a few minutes with you, but some of you are saying, well, I don't think this would apply to me or anybody I know because we don't break the law and we don't get in trouble and we don't go to jail. But if you were my attorney, as it says on your screen, well, let me just say this. Often people think they don't need an attorney until I show it to them like this. I'm just going to flip it over for you. Let's say that you were my attorney. And again, your average rate is, let's say, $300 an hour. That's a conservative number for an attorney anywhere in the nation, because I don't know where in the nation you are watching this with me today. But let's say that conservative number, and of course, in big cities, it could be $500, $600 an hour. But let's just say you were my attorney and your average hourly rate was $300 an hour. And I come to you with a proposal. And I say, here's what I'd like for you to do, my friend. I would like for you to quote me one monthly flat price so I can just stroke you one check a month and not have to ever worry about your hourly rate again. And I'm going to tell you what I need. And I just want you to tell me what it is that you're going to charge me on a monthly basis. And by the way, if it's anything more than $1 a day, a bottle of water a day, a cup of coffee from a gas station a day, I want you to know that you can't compete with what you're seeing on your screen. So what would you have to charge me if you were my attorney and I came to you and I said, first of all, I want you to give me unlimited access to legal advice. I want, and again, not a call center, not a paralegal. I don't want to Google things. I don't want to talk to my cousin who's not a lawyer. I don't even want to talk to my cousin who's a lawyer that's a different kind of lawyer than the kind of lawyer I need. Because just like not every kind of doctor does every kind of medicine, not every kind of lawyer does every kind of law. So I want to talk to an expert that's an expert in the area of law that my question is in, and I don't want it to be capped. I want it to be on an unlimited number of issues every month. I also want you to write letters for me, make phone calls on my behalf as my attorney if somebody's treating me unfairly. Now, maybe that's an insurance company that won't pay a claim. Maybe it's a big box store that won't issue a refund. Maybe it's just some big company that just won't even call me back. Instead of me getting frustrated, waiting on hold, saying those magic words that have no magic in them at all that we've all said, let me talk to your supervisor, instead of being frustrated or trying to handle things on my own, I just want you as my attorney to handle it for me. Because I know that a letter from my attorney is going to have a lot more impact at a company than a letter from me or a call from me or me waiting on hold. So I want you to do that for me. I don't want to have to worry anymore. I also want you to review every document before I sign it. How about that? Because whether it's a cell phone agreement, I'm joining a new gym, I'm renting an apartment, whatever it is, think about how many times somebody puts a document in front of us that was prepared by somebody else's attorney to protect their best interests. And we're asked to sign it or click agree on a screen. And we have no idea what it is that's in that document. Well, I don't want to ever do that again. I don't want to put myself or my family in that predicament again. I don't want to have to hope and pray that what I'm about to sign doesn't hurt me later. I want you to review and redline that document every time before I sign it, which means that you're going to go through it and make sure that what was written by somebody else's attorney to be fair to them is also fair to me. And I want it to be simple, by the way. So I don't know if you already know how to build an app, but I want to be able to do this through my own phone. I want to be able to take a picture of that document and send it to you. I don't want to have to fax it or mail it and wait. I want it to go instantly and securely to you when I need you. I want to be able to talk to you by picking up the phone and calling you and talking to you as my attorney. I also want to be able to have two-way text communication with you in an instant and secure way through a mobile app, because I don't just want this to cost less. I want it to be the easiest possible way that I could ever communicate with an attorney. I want you to be there if the IRS comes calling. I want you to be there if somebody sues me in civil court. I want you to be there for all of that stuff that happens in life, like uncontested divorce and adoption, separation and name change. I want you to be there to cover all of that for me so that I can live my life knowing, hey, listen, Legal Shield's got my back. That's what I want from you as my attorney. Also, if I get a ticket down the street going to the grocery store, or maybe I get that speeding ticket all the way across the country on vacation, I want you to take care of that for me. Because instead of flipping over the ticket, signing it, and essentially admitting guilt to a crime, just to save some time from going to traffic court, instead of doing that and then watching points accumulate on my license, watching my car insurance go up. I mean, how many of us think that car insurance should cost more than it already costs? Well, of course not. So I don't want to take that chance. What I want you to do is I want you to go to court and talk to the judge because you're an attorney. And I want you to go talk to the judge for me. And I know that you can't fix a ticket just because you're an attorney walking and talking to the judge, but I do know that more often than not, having my attorney represent me in traffic court is going to give me a very, very different consideration than if I go it alone. And essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to advocate for me on my behalf there. Now, that's what I want you to do. I want you to take care of that. And again, I want to be able to take a picture of that ticket with my own phone, send it to you instantly and securely so that things can get done. Also, by the way, before I wrap up, I want you to do my will for me. I want you to do my will, my living will, my healthcare power of attorney, my financial power of attorney. I want to know that this is taken care of. I don't want to be like the 80% of Americans that put it off because it's expensive, it's cumbersome, they don't know who can help them, and they don't know where to start. So I want you to do this for me. I also want you to make it easy for me. Give me a quick questionnaire where I can fill in some blanks so that you can get started on writing it up so that I get a real will that really will protect me. And I want you to update it every year for free, because every time something happens in my life, I need a new will, right? I mean, every time I start a new job or retire, get married, get divorced, have a kid, have a grandkid, I need a new will. Anytime there's these life events that happen, most people that do have a will, which is not very many people, never update it, making it essentially basically as useless as not having it in the first place. Now, I don't want to be one of those people. So I want you to do this for me. I want you to update it every year for me. And by the way, even if I never have any life events in the next 12 months, even if everything is super boring and nothing changes, the laws will probably change. So I need you to review this document, update it as needed. Now, what would you have to charge me? Wait a minute, I got one more thing. I don't want to forget this. I also want you to sleep with your cell phone on in case I need you after hours. Because in an emergency, whether it's myself or one of my kids or grandkids, my kids away at college, whatever's going on, I want to know. I want the peace of mind of knowing that if something happens after business hours, that my family doesn't have to wait for your office to open the next day. So I need you to be there 24/7, 365 days. Yes, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Yes, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Yes, absolutely. Every single day. Why? Because I need you the most when I need you the most. And so I want you to sleep with your phone on. I want you to pick it up when it rings. Now, what would you have to charge me? And by the way, remember, I said I want the tech too. I want to be able to do that through a cool mobile app. I want to be able to do it through a portal on the web. You know, when I got started, folks, I'll just say this. And by the way, I don't know what your number is, but again, what I just showed you is $1 a day and it covers your whole family. And I'll get back to pricing here in a second, but that's the power of having millions of customers and having thousands of attorneys that those millions of customers pay into a system so that we get the buying power to get the best attorneys in the nation to answer the call whenever we have the call. And I'll just talk about this technology for a second, because when I got this membership, it was a laminated card, like a Blockbuster video card. And that was the most valuable piece of, that was the most valuable card in my wallet. It really was. Because I've had landlords tell me that I wasn't getting my security deposit back only to be holding a check from them 24 hours later because of Legal Shield. I've had the instance to have speeding tickets only to have an attorney walk in and talk to the judge. You know, there's an old joke that says sometimes it's good to know the law. Sometimes it's better to know the judge. And I've been in that. I've watched that happen. As my Legal Shield attorneys walked in and talked to a judge, they knew each other well, and they made things go away quickly. We call this living life worry-free. And again, what used to be a laminated card is now the bleeding edge of technology with an intuitive and feature-rich suite of services accessible on any device. But let me talk to the business owners before I run out of time, because we know that business owners are priced out of the legal system. And you can see it on your screen. 60% of small business owners that said they had experienced a legal event in the past 2 years also reported not getting an attorney. And the reason was simple. They just couldn't afford the cost. Here's what that means. And as you'll see on here also, the owners of these businesses reported spending an average of $7,600 when they did engage an attorney. And 20% said they spent over $10,000 or more per year for legal help. Most business owners are ultimately priced out of the system. just like every consumer is ultimately priced out of the system. I mean, the fact is that as an individual, as a family, the average hourly wage of families has not gone up at the same rate as the average hourly cost of attorneys. So there's an imbalance that Legal Shield balances, both for the individuals and families and also for business owners, because business owners don't have the same access to a solution for legal events as their competition has. Fortune 500 companies have on-site general legal counsel. They have a C-suite full of executives that know the answers to these questions, and business owners in the community that are trying to compete at that level have an unfair disadvantage. And Legal Shield for business owners changes that, because with our small business legal plan, you have the legal consultation and advice that's equal to those big companies. You have consultation in all these different areas of law, contract and document review, legal phone calls. You can pick up the phone and talk to your attorneys about your business legal matters. You can have letters and phone calls written to help you as a business owner and to represent your business, debt collection letters, and all of these other things that the business owner needs. Now, I said I'm going to respect your time, but to do that, I'm going to go quickly, and I hope that that's okay, because I'm going to turn you back over in a moment to the individual that's leading on the ground at your event, and they're going to be able to answer your questions and expand on anything. Plus, they have my phone number, and you guys can call me. I am on my way to the airport, but I'd be happy to answer questions one-on-one as well. But we also have a plan for commercial truck drivers. The men and women that drive our economy by driving the goods across the map need representation too, and we have that. For tragic accident, their license reinstatement, moving violations, property and personal injury damages, they're covered. Peace of mind. Now, we also have a flagship product called ID Shield. And ID Shield does exactly what you think a product called ID Shield would do. So just think about the peace of mind I just showed you. The fact that Legal Shield exists, that you have access through a subscription service on your own mobile phone to thousands of attorneys that are experts in every area of law. Some of you are saying, well, does it do this? Does it do that? Yes, because we have attorneys for every area of law. We have a network that speaks to the needs of the member, both as an individual consumer and as a business owner. And then we have the ID Shield plan, which does what you would imagine something called ID Shield does, which it monitors your identifying information for you to help protect you as someone that could potentially be an identity theft victim. Statistically, some of you right here with me today have been through this. And statistically, almost all of you have known somebody who's been through this, trying to untangle this mess of spaghetti, this web of trying to fix this problem called identity theft, where essentially it's the only crime in America where you're actually proven guilty until you can prove yourself innocent. It's completely reversed, because how do you prove who you are? And anything that you can do with your identifying information, so can a thief. So think about what you can do with your identity. You can open a bank account, buy a car, buy a house, travel, drive a car, get on an airplane. Well, so can an identity thief. And that's why this is such a huge problem when it happens. And when it happens, it's great fun headlines to talk about these big cyber crimes and these big rings of cyber criminals. And it makes great headlines to talk about how this breach is the biggest breach ever. But what tends to get lost in the noise is how isolated and alone the victim feels. And while there's 100 services that you're going to see advertised that will share with you this idea that when you become a victim, they're going to step in and help you with that. But what they really mean, and I want to be honest and frank with you, what they really mean in those advertisements is that they're going to coach you while you try to untangle the mess yourself. So while almost every company that's advertising to you about identity theft can provide you good monitoring, we can provide you great monitoring. But if that's all we did, it really wouldn't be worth a conversation today. But this comprehensive restoration is why ID Shield matters. This is why we're constantly voted #1, because with comprehensive restoration, not only do you get the peace of mind of financial protection with a $3 million protection plan for your identity theft related losses, but also, and far more important, is that licensed private investigators will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity to the pre-theft status. Let me just pause on that. Let me tell you what I mean here. It's not a call center. It's not coaching. It's not an email with a big PDF of how you should do it. It's not you on the phone with the IRS and the DMV and the Social Security office. It's not you running around and doing those things when you're supposed to be at work or handling your other responsibilities. It's having a licensed investigator and expert step in on your behalf and do this work for you. And as I talk about this and wrap up, you'll see this is why companies want Legal Shield and ID Shield to be part of their benefits package for their employees, because it allows the employees to live their lives in a completely different way. And for folks that get both plans, and most people do get both plans and have both apps on their phone, you also get credit counseling and education as a owner of both plans. And think about everybody, everybody has questions about how collections work and how to review suspicious activity in your credit report, how to build your credit, or how to buy a home, how to pick the right kind of mortgage for your situation, how to reduce your exposure to identity theft, and how to create powerful financial budgets that can get a family to their goals. All of that comes through our credit counseling and education for dual plan owners. And as I mentioned earlier, who's covered? The whole family. So we've got a business plan for businesses. We've got what we call the family plan, which covers you if you're an individual and you don't have a family, but also covers you as a family as well. And I'll show you a pricing sheet as I say goodbye to you. But I want to kind of transition to talking about this incredible wheel of opportunity we have. Because remember, I'm here to solicit you to join us in this mission, to help us bring equal access to equal justice to every corner of every community, to every individual and to every family, to every business owner and their employees, so that everybody sleeps better at night knowing they're protected. That all they have to do is tap the app and talk to an expert that can handle these situations for them instead of us trying to go it alone. And in our wheel of opportunity, I've only really had a chance to touch on ID Shield and Legal Shield. I mentioned our small business plan, and I'll say this: when it comes to the employee groups, we can help a business create a more robust benefits package by bringing Legal Shield and ID Shield into their benefits portfolio, which means that you can now attract people with a more robust benefits package, because now you have this voluntary component called Legal Shield and ID Shield, and people love voluntary benefits. So you have this ability to attract key talent by being competitive in your employee benefits, and also to retain those people, because the fact is that folks that own and use Legal Shield and ID Shield are better employees. We have this thing called presenteeism. You've experienced this as a business owner, where your employees are at work physically, but their mind is somewhere else. Their mind is on those issues that we've been talking about in this presentation instead of on their work. And it affects the bottom line of your company. But having Legal Shield and ID Shield's experts handle these problems for the employee means the employee can be both mentally and physically on the job and focused on their work, which is good for everybody's bottom line. And it creates a completely different atmosphere. I talked about a commercial driver's plan, and under legal plan supplements, I'll just say that we have supplemental plans that speak to every need in every community. Because some folks in the community have a business, but they operate that business from their home address. And we have a plan for that. Some folks are using their private vehicle to do commercial work, like driving Uber and Lyft, and we have a plan for that. Some folks own a firearm, and we have a plan for those individuals as well, and more that I can't get into today. But when you talk about our opportunity, it's massive, and it's bigger than it's ever been. And through our member perks program, our members, our customers, get savings on things they're already buying anyway. Sometimes it's entertainment, like going to the movies or streaming services. Sometimes it's peace of mind, like ADT and your cell phone coverage. Sometimes it's saving money on food, like Costco. But our members are saving money because the biggest brands on planet Earth want to do business with our millions of customers. And to get access to that pool of customers, they offer us incredibly deep discounts. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you pricing here in the next slide. In my family, we realize more savings every month than our investment in Legal Shield and ID Shield to cover our family, making a no-brainer a double no-brainer. And here is the pricing. So you can get Legal Shield, as I said, for $1 a day. Covers you if you're an individual, but also if you have a family, you can expand that coverage to your family at no additional cost. Then we have individual pricing for ID Shield at $19.95 a month, or as a family, $34.95 a month. And most people do get both plans. So we have Legal Shield and ID Shield for an individual at $49.90, Legal Shield and the family ID Shield, $64.90. We're talking about $2 a day. Now, I'm not quite sure what they're offering, what they're charging for a cup of coffee at the local gas station today, but I know it's more than $2 at Starbucks and at Dunkin' Donuts. And isn't that powerful that you can have this peace of mind, all that Legal Shield has to offer, all that ID Shield has to offer, for a price that is within reach of just about every family in the community. And that's why we're growing so quickly. And how can you be compensated? I've got 2 minutes left before I say goodbye. So I just want to share this with you. Now that you know that Legal Shield and ID Shield exists, you're going to let people know about it anyway. The fact is that you're not going to overhear somebody in line talking about needing to get their will done and not mention what you just saw in this presentation today. You're not going to hear a friend talk about getting a speeding ticket, not mention what you saw in this presentation today. And the next time someone's talking to you about the fact that their identity was compromised, of course, you're going to share with them what you've learned. So all I'm saying to you is, since you're going to tell folks about it anyway, join us in this mission and crusade and get compensated for doing so. Anywhere from $70 up to $370 every time you recommend to somebody that they get these services, and they get it. And they can sign up on your website, which we will turn on for you when you get started in the business, and they'll have access to sign up on your site 24 hours a day. You can also share the opportunity with others and earn leveraged income, just like an insurance broker works with insurance agents and earns an override, or a real estate broker works with real estate agents and earns an override on the production made by the team. So can you do that here as well? You can create a team of your own by just sharing the opportunity the same way you're sharing the services. Folks can join your team on your website, and then every time that somebody subscribes to the services from the recommendation of a team member of yours, not only do they get the compensation I already outlined, but you get an override, a percentage on everything sold by your team. And then residual income, the power to do something one time and get compensated again and again. Because of our business model, every one of our happy members that stays on the books compensates you because you referred them to the business, or a member of your team referred them to get the services. Isn't that powerful? And by the way, that's for the lifetime of the member, not your lifetime or my lifetime. That means every month, every year, or even every decade into the future, as these happy customers continue to love and keep their membership, you get paid every month. I purchased my Legal Shield membership from a gentleman that stopped by my job 30 years ago, and I've had it ever since. And he's been getting paid every month for 30 years. My question to you is, what are you getting paid on right now that you did 30 years ago? And that's the power of our business model. So you can, just by recommending this to 4 families a month, you can earn anywhere from $300 to almost $2,300 a month. And if you had 25 teammates doing the same, that's over $120,000 per year. This is a powerful business model based on the fact that our services are real. They help real people and real businesses every day, and folks keep them for the long term. And we also reward our associates for what we call Performance Club, with cash bonuses every month and a trip somewhere around the world every year. And over the last couple of decades, my family has been on countless trips all over the world, and we would love to have you walk the beaches of the world with us. No expenses spared, all expenses paid, round trip air and accommodations, all your food and all your fun, and you can do this with us. So to become an associate and join us in the business, a business that you can operate from anywhere, part-time, you can do it as a career, you can do it spare time, slices of time, stolen moments. You can work from anywhere. You're creating a book of business that's willable to your estate, residual income for the lifetime of every member, and classes to help you get started in a business that you can launch today for a one-time $49 associate setup fee. So I'm out of time. This is my last slide for you. I'm going to send you back to the person that you're sitting with today so that they can help you with the next steps. But here's what I'd like for you to talk to them about. What would you like your next steps to be? How would you like to help us spread the word in your community today? Maybe you're number one. You're ready to get the services for yourself, and you want to provide referrals. You want to be the person that says, hey, listen, Sonora Dantzler, I'm going to send you all my folks, and you take care of them. You get the commissions. You keep the residual income. That's a number one. Number two, I'm ready to get the services, and I'm interested in joining the business. Maybe you're a number two, and you have a few questions you want to get answered. We can get them answered at the table you're sitting at, or you can contact me, and I'm happy to answer your questions as well if you're a number two. But a whole bunch of you are number three, just like I was when I saw the same information. You're ready to get the services. You want the peace of mind of Legal Shield and ID Shield protecting yourself and your family if you have one, your business, of course, and you're ready to get started as an associate because you already recognize that you're going to tell people about these incredible services anyway, and you'd love to create a stream of income that will stay with you over time because of the power of what we have. Thanks so much for everybody joining me today. I'm going to close the Zoom and say goodbye. I'm going to turn you back over to the leaders at the tables that you're at, and I'll see some of you in Phoenix, Arizona when I get on the ground there later tonight. Goodbye, everybody.